Welcome to Wealth Hustle 247 podcast, your trusted guide to financial literacy, business innovation, and entrepreneurial success. Learn how to grow your wealth, make informed decisions, and turn your ideas into profitable ventures.
Your first 100,000 Nigerian Nairas online isn't magic. It's mindset, skills, and smart action. In this episode, we break down simple, practical ways everyday Nigerians are already using to earn their first six figures online. No hype, no shortcuts, just real strategies you can start today, even with little capital. If you've ever thought, oh, do people actually make money online? This is your sign. Watch, learn, and take your first step from 0 to 100,000 Nigerian Nairas.
You know, there's a specific feeling, I think everyone has experienced it at least once. It's that moment when you're staring at a screen, maybe it's your bank account, maybe it's a dashboard on some website.
Right.
And it just sits there.
Yeah.
It's zero. And it's not even about being broke per se. It's about the silence, the static.
The vacuum.
Exactly, the vacuum. And whenever people talk about making money online, the conversation, it seems to bypass that zero stage.
Oh, completely.
It jumps straight to the I bought a Lamborghini stage.
Right.
Or, you know, the I lost my life savings in a crypto scam stage.
Yeah.
It's always the extremes.
It is very polarized.
Yeah.
The middle ground, the boring, gritty reality of just getting started, that doesn't get enough airtime.
Which is why I'm genuinely excited about the source material we are diving into today. It's this guide called How to Make Your First 100,000 Naira Online.
Right.
And what struck me immediately is how, I don't know, how modest that title is. It's not promising millions. It's not promising retirement.
Yeah.
It's laser focused on that first messy, difficult financial hurdle.
It's modest, but it is also deeply strategic. In the text, the author argues that this specific number, 100,000 Naira, isn't just a financial target.
Right.
It's a psychological one. It's all about proof of concept.
Let's unpack that phrase.
Yeah.
You hear it a lot in like startup culture, but here it feels more personal. Proof of concept.
Right. Think about it. Until you make that first significant amount, and 100,000 Naira is significant enough to validate your effort, the internet is just a place where you consume.
Right.
You watch videos, you scroll feeds, you buy things. You are a source of data and money for other people.
We're the product, effectively.
Precisely. The moment you hit that 100K mark, something just snaps in your brain. You cross the Rubicon. You prove to yourself that your input, your skill, your time, your effort can actually extract value from the digital economy.
You stop being a consumer.
And you start being a producer.
That's the mission for this deep dive, Ken.
Oh.
We are not trying to figure out how to build the next Facebook.
Yeah.
We are decoding the roadmap to that first 100K. We're going to look at the specific pathways the guide lays out, services, platforms, products. But I also want to really interrogate the math behind it.
Okay.
Because the guide claims this is a system, not luck.
That is the core argument, and I'm glad you brought up luck. The source material explicitly says, stop looking for luck. If you are waiting to go viral on TikTok or find some magic crypto coin that goes to the moon, you aren't building a business. You're just buying a lottery ticket.
Right.
This guide wants to move you from gambling to, well, engineering.
So let's look at the engineering. The guide starts with a framework that I found really helpful, almost like a law of physics for money. It simplifies the entire economy down to just 3 components.
Skills, attention, and capital. The premise is that money only flows to these 3 things. There is no fourth option.
Okay, so if I want money to flow to me,
Yeah.
I need to possess and leverage one of those 3.
Exactly. Now, here is the catch, and the guide is very pragmatic about this. It assumes the reader is a learner, a beginner, and beginners, almost by definition, do not have capital. You can't invest your way to wealth if you have 0 Naira to start. You can't buy real estate. You can't buy stocks in bulk.
Which wipes one variable off the board immediately. We can't use money to make money. Not yet.
Right. So capital is out. That leaves you with 2 levers. Skills, which is doing something valuable, or attention, getting people to look at something valuable.
And if you aren't leveraging one of those 2,
You are dead in the water. You are essentially asking for charity.
that is a brutal but a necessary reality check. I think a lot of people try to bypass the skill part and just want the result.
They do.
They want the 100K without the input. But let's get to the part that really clicked for me,
Yeah.
the math. Because 100,000 Naira, depending on where you are in life, can feel like a massive mountain.
It can be incredibly intimidating. If you've never made a dime online, looking for 100,000 feels like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
You feel like you need to find one rich benefactor to write you a big check. It feels so binary. Success or failure.
And that paralyzes people.
It does, but the guide deconstructs that mountain. It says, stop looking for the 100K. That number is too big.
Okay.
Instead, break it down to units of value. The math is simple, but it changes your perspective entirely.
So what's the math?
To get 100K, you don't need one person. You need 10 people to pay you 10,000 Naira.
Or 20 people to pay you 5,000 Naira.
Precisely. And just think about the psychology of that. Convincing someone to part with 5,000 Naira, which is what, the price of a decent lunch or a data subscription?
It's low friction.
Very low friction. If you offer a service like writing a few emails or fixing a graphic, getting a yes for 5,000 Naira is infinitely easier than getting a yes for 100,000.
It turns the impossible goal into a checklist. I just need to find one person today, then another next week. It makes it kind of boring, in a good way.
It validates the process through repetition. And here is the secret. Once you realize you can find 10 people, you realize you can probably find 100. But you have to start with the first 10. You have to prove the model works.
Okay, so we have the mindset we need skills and attention.
Right.
And we have the math, breaking the big number into small bite-sized chunks. Now we need the vehicle.
Right.
The guide outlines 5 specific pathways to actually get this money. Let's start with pathway 1, which seems to be the most direct, selling high-demand skills.
This is the classic time for money trade. You have a skill, someone needs it, they pay you directly. The guide lists the usual suspects here, graphic design, video editing, copywriting, social media management.
It also mentions virtual assistants and website setup. But the one that stood out to me as being very of the moment was AI services.
That is a very smart inclusion by the author. We're seeing a massive demand for people who aren't necessarily coders, but who know how to prompt effectively. People who can use AI tools to generate images for a brand, or summarize data, or create content calendars.
But here's my question, and I'll play devil's advocate here. The guide calls these entry points. But isn't the market just saturated? If I'm a graphic designer, aren't I competing with a million other graphic designers who are better than me?
That is the most common fear, but the source argues that saturation is a myth at the entry level.
How so?
Remember our math. You aren't trying to dominate the global market. You aren't trying to be the art director for Nike.
You are trying to find 10 clients.
Right, just 10. The guide emphasizes that these skills are high demand for a reason. Every single business launching today needs a logo, they need copy for their website, they need social media posts.
The bakery down the street needs a flyer.
The real estate agent needs a bio.
So you're stepping into a flowing river, not digging a well in the desert.
That's a great analogy. You are servicing existing demand. And the barrier to entry isn't a university degree, it's competence.
Right.
If you can use Canva well or write a persuasive email without typos, you are already ahead of the business owner who simply doesn't have the time to do those things.
And sticking to our math, the target here is 10 clients at 10,000 Naira each.
Which is very achievable for a logo package or a batch of social media templates. You do the work, you get the cash, it's immediate feedback.
Okay, so pathway 1 is local, direct, and skill-based. Pathway 2 takes those same skills but changes the venue. We're talking about freelancing platforms like Upwork and Fiverr.
And this changes the equation because of one massive factor.
Currency arbitrage.
Earning in dollars while spending in Naira.
Exactly. The guide highlights this as a significant accelerator. If you land a job for, say, $20, that is a massive chunk of your 100,000 Naira goal instantly, just based on the exchange rate.
Right, you have to do far less work volume to hit the number.
Way less.
But the dynamic on Upwork is different, right? You aren't just DMing a local business owner where you might have a connection. You're in a global marketplace. The competition is global.
It is. And this is where beginners get tripped up. They log on to Upwork and they try to land the $1,000 contracts on day one.
They try to compete with the experts.
Exactly. The guide advises a totally different strategy. Small jobs accumulated strategically.
What does that mean in practice? It means you swallow your pride. You take the small, quick jobs. The $10 gig to transcribe a 15-minute file.
Okay.
The $15 dig to remove a background from 50 images. You do it fast and you do it perfectly.
You're farming for reviews, aren't you?
You're building reputation capital.
Yeah.
On these platforms, your 5-star rating is way more important than your portfolio.
All right.
A client in the US doesn't know who you are. They trust the stars. Once you have those reviews, the algorithm pushes you up and you can raise your prices. But to hit that first 100K, you just need volume. Keep the jobs small, keep them fast, and don't get stuck in some month-long project.
I like that. Don't hunt whales, catch the small fish first. Now, pathway 3 feels like a shift to me. The first two are about gigs.
Yeah.
You kill it, you eat it, you go hungry until the next kill. Pathway 3 is social media retainers.
This is the graduation from gig worker to service provider. The key word here is management. You aren't just creating a post.
Right.
You are taking over the headache of running a social media page for a business.
And the math changes here, too. The guide suggests 4 clients at 25,000 Naira a month.
Think about the lifestyle difference there. Instead of waking up every day wondering where your next client is coming from, which is stressful, you have 4 steady clients. You wake up on the first of the month knowing the money is coming, provided you do the work.
But 25,000 Naira a month, that seems low for managing a whole social media account, doesn't it? If I'm posting every day, answering comments, that's a lot of work for 25K.
For a big corporation, yes, absolutely. You'd charge 10 times that. But remember the target audience for the learner.
Right. Small businesses.
We are talking about small business owners, the local fashion vendor on Instagram, the hair salon. For them, 25K is a reasonable expense to get the stress of posting off their plate. They can afford that.
And for the learner.
For the learner, having 4 of these clients builds a recurring revenue base. It stabilizes your income. You aren't rich, but you are safe.
And you hit your 100K target consistently.
Exactly. And you learn how to manage client relationships long term, which is a soft skill that pays off huge later. It's a stepping stone. You don't stay at 25K forever, but it gets you to the milestone.
Okay, let's pivot. Pathways 1, 2, and 3 are all about trading time for money. If I stop working, the money stops. If I get sick, the money stops. Pathway 4 is for the people who want to break that link. Digital products.
The scalable route. This goes back to our framework. Money flows to attention. If you create a product, an ebook, a guide, a template, a preset pack, you build it once, the work is all front-loaded.
And then you can sell it an infinite number of times.
Theoretically, yes. The math the guide gives is selling a 5,000 Naira product to 20 people.
That sounds easier than finding 20 service clients. I don't have to talk to them. I don't have to do revisions. They just click buy.
It is easier in fulfillment. You don't have to do any work after the sale, but it is much harder in marketing.
The trade-off.
That's the trade-off. With a service, you just need one person to say yes to you. With a product, you need an audience. You need traffic. A PDF sitting on your laptop is worth 0.
So this pathway really demands that attention lever we talked about earlier.
Completely. If you don't have an audience or you don't know how to drive traffic via ads or content, this is actually the hardest pathway. You are just shouting into the void.
Right.
But if you can crack the attention code, it is the most rewarding because of the leverage. You don't have to work 20 times harder to make 20 times the money. The file doesn't get tired.
Which leads us to pathway 5. What if I'm good at the attention part, I have followers, or I'm good at marketing, but I have 0 desire to build a product? I don't want to write a book.
Right.
I don't want to record a course.
Then you become the bridge, affiliate marketing. You promote other people's products.
The guide mentions specific platforms here like Expertnaire and Seller.
Right. The logic is, why reinvent the wheel? Someone else has already built the course, set up the payment gateway, handled the customer support, built the sales page.
You just bring the customer.
You just bring the customer. And the math here is pretty attractive. The guide talks about high-ticket commissions.
This is the efficiency play.
It is. If you pick a product that pays a 25,000 Naira commission per sale, you only need 4 sales to hit your 100K target.
Just 4 sales. That seems incredibly efficient.
It is. But again, don't be fooled. Getting someone to buy a high-ticket item, something expensive, that requires trust.
Right.
You are monetizing your reputation. If you recommend garbage just to get a commission, you burn your audience. You might get the 100K once, but you won't get it twice.
So the risk here is reputational. You have to vet what you sell.
100%. You are borrowing the product creator's authority, but you are lending them your trust.
So we have 5 clear paths. Let's just recap them quickly.
Let's do it.
1, skills for local clients. Direct work.
2, freelancing for global clients, earning in dollars.
3, retainers. Recurring monthly income for management.
4, digital products. Create once, sell many times.
And 5, affiliate marketing. Selling other people's stuff.
Yeah.
The problem is, and I feel this myself just listening to it, when you present 5 doors to a beginner, they usually just stand in the hallway staring at them. They get paralyzed.
Analysis paralysis. It's the biggest killer of progress. You spend so much time deciding how to start that you never actually start.
So how does the guide suggest we actually execute this?
Mm.
How do we move from listening to a deep dive to money in the bank?
The source provides a specific 30-day execution plan. And the first step is non-negotiable, and it addresses exactly what you just said.
Okay.
Choose one model.
Just one.
Just one. The guide warns specifically against shiny object syndrome. You cannot be a graphic designer who is also an affiliate marketer who is also trying to launch an ebook all in the same month.
You'll fail at all of them.
You fail at all of them.
Yeah.
You're digging 5 shallow holes instead of one deep one.
Right.
You have to pick the one that matches your current temperament and skills. If you are an introvert who hates selling on the phone, maybe start with Upwork, Pathway 2.
Or if you're social and have friends with businesses, try retainers, Pathway 3.
Exactly.
So day 1, pick a lane. What's the rest of the month look like?
The guide emphasizes speed. Step 2 is learn quickly. Do not spend 6 months watching tutorials. Learn the basics in a few days, just enough to be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Step 3 is market consistently. You have to shout about what you do. Step 4 is close clients.
And step 5,
Reinvest earnings.
that loops us back to capital, doesn't it?
It does, but I want to stick on the market consistently part for a second. The guide points out a few common mistakes that derail this 30-day plan.
Okay.
The biggest one is waiting for perfection.
Oh, I know this one. Thinking you need the perfect logo before you can sell logos.
Or thinking you need a professional camera to manage a social media page, or a perfect website before you can tell anyone you are a writer.
Yeah.
The source argues that imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. You learn by doing, not by planning to do.
There was also a warning about scams in the text. I feel like we have to touch on that because when people are desperate for that first 100K, their radar can get a bit jammed.
We do. When you are hungry, you are vulnerable. The guide gives a very simple filter for this. Remember the triangle we started with?
Skills and attention.
Right. If an opportunity claims you can make money without providing a skill and without gathering attention, run.
If it doesn't require value, it's a trap.
Exactly. If it looks like easy money where you just bring 2 people to bring 2 people, or if it promises returns that make no sense, it's a Ponzi scheme.
Right.
Real money is an exchange of value. Stick to the pathways that involve work.
Stick to the pathways that involve work. That's the hard truth nobody wants to hear, but it's the only one that lasts.
It is. The internet is efficient. It rewards value, not wishful thinking.
Before we wrap this up, I want to zoom out a bit. We've talked about the math and the methods, but why does this matter?
Yeah.
Why is the guide so obsessed with this specific 100,000 Naira number? Is it just about paying the bills?
No, it's deeper than that. The source concludes that the first 100K is the hardest money you will ever make.
Why?
Not because the work is hard. I mean, writing an email isn't physically hard. It's hard because you are fighting your own doubt. You are fighting the voice in your head that says, this isn't real, or this won't work for me.
And once you hold that money,
The doubt evaporates. You have proof of concept. And once you have proof, you can scale.
right.
If you can find 10 clients, you know the script to find 20. If you can sell 4 products, you can optimize your ads to sell 40.
It stops being a mystery and starts being a machine.
You shift from being a consumer of the internet to a producer. And that identity shift, realizing I can create value here, is worth way more than the 100,000 Naira itself.
That's a powerful place to end the how-to section. But I have one final thought I want to throw at you. A bit of a provocation for the listener to chew on.
Let's hear it.
We started this by saying beginners have to focus on skills and attention because they don't have capital. We said capital was off the table. But if you follow this guide, if you hit that 100K, and then you do it again and again, suddenly you do have capital. You have money sitting there.
You've unlocked the 3rd level of the game.
Exactly. The game we discussed today is level 1, hustle, using your sweat to earn money. But the implication of the source is that you shouldn't stay there forever.
No. The ultimate goal, and this is where true wealth is built, is to take that money you earn from skills and attention and eventually use it to make money for you. That is when you stop working for the algorithm and make the algorithm work for you.
But you can't skip level 1. You can't invest if you haven't earned.
You have to clear the level, get the 100K first, prove the concept, then worry about the empire.
Love it. For everyone listening, you have your marching orders. Pick one pathway, Do the math, don't look for luck, look for value, and go break that barrier. Thanks for diving in with us.
Always a pleasure.
See you in the next deep dive.
That's it for today's episode of Wealth Hustle 247. Be sure to follow, like, comment, and share with others. Keep pushing toward your goals, and we'll see you in the next episode.